All right, have and have not fans. Now, this is going to be a video about a topic that I know for a fact I've talked about in at least half a dozen different videos, but I just wanted to make its own separate video just to kind of close this case, if you will. Some people have actually been asking me to do a video about what if Maggie Day got pregnant by David in the haves and the have-not. Now, here's my thing with that. I actually do believe that it would have been plausible for her to be pregnant by David for a couple of reasons. The main one being that I do remember after the two finally actually slept together at the Sarandon Hotel, we get to the next morning where David said that I don't want any more children. Could you please, take the morning after pill? And he offered to actually go get the pill for Maggie, but she said, no, don't worry. I'll take care of it. He's like, are you sure? She was like, yeah. But then a few seconds later, he ended up finding the newspaper, I believe it was ironically enough, right beside the bed, and, figured out the whole scenario of Maggie was the one to orchestrate the whole photo in the newspaper with Benny and Veronica on the front page, making up the story that Veronica and Jim conspired together, and Catherine and David were pretty much taking the fall. So basically she did what she could to get David out of jail while letting everyone else burn. So David was infuriated by this, which is again something I'm very surprised by. I really didn't know what to think of that. It's weird because 1 minute David's all, we're gonna have sex because I'm frustrated with my wife, she keeps accusing me of doing something I didn't do, so I might as well do it. And he was actually doing what was best for her at the time, because remember, there was a sniper waiting inside of her house, so as soon as she opened the front door she was going to die. However, he didn't tell Veronica that. He literally just said that I'm not going to get you out of jail yet because it's safer for you in here. But then Veronica was all like, you just want me in here so you can be with Maggie. That's when David just had enough, went back to the hotel. Maggie was sitting down being apologetic, saying, I'm sorry, I'm the one that caused all this mess. Then they had sex. So what I'm thinking of is the fact that maybe Maggie didn't take that morning after pill. Like, she wanted to figure out some way of keeping David in her life, because remember, after David saw that newspaper, he was infuriated and literally stormed out of the room. So in my mind, I'm thinking that Maggie most likely did not take that morning after pill just so she can have some sort of leverage over David, because I believe right before she got killed, Veronica pretty much surrendered, saying, please come by my house. There's some things about David you need to know. You can have them. And Maggie, doing something that she most likely shouldn't have done, went over to Veronica's house, opened the door, and then she got shot multiple times and died. Now, going back to the theory of what if Maggie was pregnant, I would be very interested to see how that would have played out, because I wonder what Veronica would have done. I believe she still would have eliminated Maggie, but maybe it would have been done a bit differently, because I felt like since Allison was leaving the show, they just had to hastily get her off of the, the season. And you can tell that Maggie was literally on her way out, because right before she put that picture and story in the newspaper, she was acting, basically her man got arrested and she was freaking out. She was no longer the calm, cool, collected, calculating character we had seen up until that point. She was letting her emotions get the better of her, hence why she made the mistake. And even Landon was like, if we print this photo and this story, they're going to come after you. So she wasn't looking at the long-term consequences. She was more concerned with getting rid of the situation at hand, which was getting David out of jail at all cost. So looking at what's going on now, I feel like David with Maggie would have been an interesting couple, if you will, because I wonder if those two would have officially been a couple. What if Maggie did reveal she was pregnant? Would David look at her any differently? I feel like, if anything, he would be even more furious, due to the fact that not only did she betray his trust by throwing his wife under the bus and his friend Jim, but then after saying that she would take the morning after pill, she didn't, meaning that that's two big bombs in a row. So part of me feels like, David might want to, coddle her and take care of her, but another part of me feels like he'll be infuriated. Here's something. I wonder if David would react to Maggie being pregnant after saying she would take the morning after pill, if his reaction would be similar to if and when he finds out that Erica's actually been on this bigger scheme the entire time. So I wonder, it really makes me wonder about David's reaction to these kind of things. I mean, since he was so passive with a lot of things Veronica did, it really makes me wonder how he would react to other women that he's dealt with in the past screwing him over. But I feel like him being with Veronica so long has made him a lot more, I guess you could say, naive to an extent, where I feel like part of David thinks that, you know what, I've been through the worst. No matter what this next woman does, there's no way it can be, to the level of insanity that Veronica put me through. But something tells me he might be wrong about that. So with that being said, I feel that if Maggie was indeed pregnant, I feel like she still would have been eliminated by Veronica in some way, shape, or form. That's honestly how I see it. So let me know in the comment section below. Number one, do you think that Maggie actually took the morning after pill like she promised, or do you think she just let it slide because she felt that the only way to get David's attention was to have a baby? I know that she was pretty much killed off before this storyline can be developed any further, but I feel like this is something that should definitely be discussed, because I feel like Maggie was too important of a character to be killed off the way she did. So also subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I have a lot more videos in the development before May 1st.